I really got closer with God that year, that second year too, when I wasn't playing as much. I was really like kind of not depressed, but I was maybe, I don't know. Maybe I might have been depressed, who knows? But it was like you can't lose you can't make your sole identity like in being an athlete, because eventually it's gonna end. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's something people don't talk about either. You know, like you can't just like, people see me all like, yeah, that's Kendrick, he plays football or whatever, but like I'm so much more than I have I have a lot of other interests. I have a lot of other like hobbies that I like doing and stuff like that people wouldn't even know. Like I be flying planes, nobody know that. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Now I see like younger dudes come in the league, you know, and they get cut, and that's when real life hits. Like, dang, like I've been a football player since I was 5 years old. I'm 22. Like my whole life has been just dedicated. I put every ounce into this, like every, like, you know, blood, sweat, tears, months and months and hours on end, right? And it's a lot in the professional sports world that's just, you can't control.
Thank you so much, Kendrick, for being here.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad that you're here too. And it's crazy. You flew in this morning. Can you like walk me through what the off season looks like for you?
Yeah. So right now we're doing like what we call OTAs, organized team activities, with the Cleveland Browns. So Monday through Thursday, typically, we'll have, you know, basically workouts, practice, meetings, film. And then I get out around 2-ish on Thursday and I head back home. So I fly back home every weekend. So I just be racking up the air miles.
Yeah, thanks so much for racking up the air miles and coming here tonight. And by the time this comes out, people won't know, but we're filming this on draft night.
Yep.
And it's crazy because this is your 6th year, so I'm pretty sure it's a little nostalgic, and you kind of have the feels of being a draftee as well. Can you just share a little bit of how does it feel to be going into your 6th year?
Man, it's been a lot of highs, a lot of lows, you know, but like we were talking about a little bit before on camera, like, you know, I'm blessed to even have the opportunity to do what I do in any facet. So like I try to remind myself of that every day. But yeah, it's been a journey for sure.
Yeah, and I can't wait to talk about all the journeys. And for those who don't know, we both went to U of I, ILL. And it's crazy just to see us both sit here, and I'm excited to walk through your journey. And I know that you're going to impact a lot of incoming athletes or those who are wanting to take the next step in the professional world. Sure. But before we get in all that, I have a game for you. It's kind of rapid fire, so you don't have to think too much about it. It's called Welcome to the... Sit up for it. Sit up for it. You got to lock in. It's called Welcome to the League. So you kind of put yourself in the position of when you just got drafted and going into your first year. Okay?
Okay.
One word to describe your first year.
Long.
Who was your first year bestie on the team?
Dan Moore, that's my boy. He's currently with the Tennessee Titans. That's my dog.
Go-to food spot in Pittsburgh.
To be honest, the food in Pittsburgh is pretty bad. I hope nobody come at me for that.
You're like Pizza Hut?
Yeah, literally, Taco Bell.
I'm screaming. Okay, can you think of a song that went triple platinum in your playlist?
That year? Ooh, what song? I'm a music junkie, so I think that year I was playing 2021. Oh, Certified Lover Boy. Anything off that?
Oh.
I was yeah. That came out right before the season started too, like late August. So that was getting spent the whole time.
What was a part of your pregame ritual?
Pregame ritual every morning. I drink 2 cups of just straight black coffee. And I drink it as fast as I can too. I want to feel the rush. So I guess you call that a ritual. I don't know.
And then what was the biggest lesson you learned in your first year?
I would say like you're only a rookie once, so you gotta soak in every moment, every opportunity, and just really like remind yourself to be where your feet are, for sure.
And there is like a term like welcome to the league moment. So where you really felt like, whoa, I'm in the field, I'm in the NFL. Mm-hmm. Can you recall maybe one of those moments for you?
Yeah. So it wasn't on the field actually when this happened. We were in training camp and I had like 3 just horrible plays back to back. Didn't block my guy. And we got in a team meeting that I think it was the next day. And like Coach Mike Tomlin he's showing, low lights from the day before. And he's just up there like, you can send your ass back to Illinois, this and that. Like, I hope you're not a wasted draft pick, stuff like that. So I'm like, dang, I need to get my stuff together.
Yeah. I mean, you can cuss a little on here.
Yeah, keep it PG.
Keep it PG. That's funny. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people have those encounters. I mean, even in the corporate setting, I had those like, oh, shoot, like I'm grown. I need to get my stuff together. But before we go into where you are today, I think it's important to know where you were, like before the league, before University of Illinois. Let's go all the way back. So can you recall when you first started falling in love with football, or even when you first touched a football?
Yeah, so one of my best friends growing up, he lived cat-a-corner to me on Corrington Street in Peoria, Illinois. His name's Trey Hendon. Trey had been playing football. His dad got him into football and sports even like just a year or two before I did. And I always like wanted to play football, nobody in my family really played sports ever. So I'm like the first one. And then just playing football, like throwing the ball around, we just over there tackling each other. And like I was like 6 years old. And then next year I went out and played football, and that's been my passion, love, and joy ever since. So.
Dang, shout out Trey.
Yeah, Trey Hendon, that's my boy.
Period. And so, I mean, you're playing it's a hobby at this point, but did you ever have a moment, or even did your parents have a moment when they realized, wait, you're kind of better than average?
Yeah, so I think when I was like 9, I forget what grade I was in then, my dad coached my team. And like I'm bigger than everybody, I'm faster than everybody, I'm stronger than everybody. And I'm just out there just killing people, and I'm super aggressive. So football is a game of aggression. My dad yeah, we gonna take it there. So I remember that comment. He's like, if you want to be good, like we gonna be, you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to be good, we ain't gonna work for it. But like if you want to be good, I'm gonna hold you to that. So, and then my big brother played a big role in that as well. So
yeah. So let's talk a little bit about what that looked like. But one thing I love that your dad said is like, if this is something you want to do, cool. If not, we can keep it pushing. Because I do think that a lot of people feel a lot of pressure from their parents growing up as they're starting to fall in love with the sport. So I thought that was a really cool thing that your dad did.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard for me now. Like I'll go to my daughter's soccer games and I know they 5 years old and run around. I'll be like, man, what are you gonna do? Like I just want to go like girl, like you know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, it's definitely keep it light, So
you mentioned you have an older brother. Mm-hmm. Are you the youngest? Like where are you in the sibling group?
I am. That's a loaded question. Big crazy family tree, but like my immediate siblings, I'm the second oldest.
Okay.
Yeah, second oldest. Yeah, I'm tripping. Okay.
So you said your dad and your brother were a big impact in how you were developing in football. What did that look like?
So I grew up in a house, all boys, like my mom and 3 boys. So like it was we always fighting and, roughhousing. The house always a mess. My dad's a Marine dude too. So it was just very masculine energy. And like, I feel like my dad really instilled discipline into me and my older brother. And like, so in that moment, he like, if you don't want to do this, like if you don't want to take it as far as you can, like you don't got to. But like if that's you say that's what you want to do, we're gonna do it. And you know what I'm saying? And he helped me to that. So.
And you said discipline. So what did that look like?
Couldn't have long hair. Always had a fade. My head big as hell, so I was out there looking crazy. No jewelry, no earrings. Like you know what I'm saying? Always like clean cut. We always had it. Me and my brother would wash the dishes. I would dry the dishes and put them up every night. I think it was like 6:30 or 7, like after dinner. We did that every single day, and like it wasn't no being late nowhere. What like you know what I mean? It was just repercussions if you did, and I feel like I'm a very punctual person today because of that. I might have been a little late today though. Actually,
it was the parking's fault.
Yeah, parking, Chicago parking. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's important to note because I think a lot of how we turn out and develop our very it's foundational to how we were raised. And so the punctuality, even the way you present yourself, like you learned at a very early age that mattered. Let's transition a little bit into high school. So, I mean, you're still falling in love with it, et cetera, but when did you start getting like recruits, or when did you start getting scouted?
So I was, I went to Peoria High School, and that summer going into my freshman year, we had like football workouts and like football practice and stuff like that all summer. We went to a team camp at Illinois State, and I went with the varsity, and I played with the varsity as a freshman. And like even the Illinois State coach was like, who is that kid? Like, how old is he? You know, I was 14 at the time, and that's when I started like dang, I'm like a lot better than everybody on my team. Like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, and I was the youngest one. So that's when I knew like I need to like lock in and get my school paid for. You know, NFL was like the thought after, but I'm like one thing at a time. So, but yeah.
Yeah, and you said that people in your immediate family, sports wasn't really a thing. You were the first person to do it. So what did that look like for your parents to see that, wait, my son could potentially get his university paid for?
Yeah, like my dad, like, you know, he was super just all the time, like, you know, making sure I'm on my stuff. But like it wasn't annoying to me at the time because like I wanted to do that anyway, you know? So it was like, I wouldn't even say he was on me about it. He assisted me. I would say that a lot. Like he helped me out a bunch. So my dad, shout out all my high school coaches. I had a great community around me. So like, I feel like I would have had to try to fail, really, to be honest. So.
Yeah, and that's very special because a lot of people have to beat all the odds, and including the lack of community. So the fact that you had that is huge. Can you talk a little bit about what the process looked like, the scouting process, and when you ultimately decided to choose Illinois?
Yeah, so I think I had 25 Division I scholarship offers, and I kind of narrowed it down to like, where was I? University of Minnesota, Notre Dame, Iowa, and Illinois, and I can't believe I'm about to say this on the air. It's okay. I had a girlfriend in high school. You know, we all got a little high school sweetheart.
A little thing.
Iowa was like 2 hours from my house, but Illinois was like an hour and 12 minutes. And like, we were supposed to be married. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. So that's kind of like, I ain't say it back then, but like deep down, I'm like, I'm trying to be next to my lady. And then I think we broke up like halfway into my freshman year. Screaming. Yeah, shout out to her though. She's a great woman.
Right, she was But you know what? Shout out to her because she subconsciously set you up. And what I think is really cool is like at Illinois, you were known for your work ethic, for your aggressiveness, and also for your offensive versatility. Mm-hmm. Can you just talk about what it was like for you to transition from high school to college and what that dynamic looked like?
Yeah, so originally I went to University of Illinois, recruited me to play defensive line. So my freshman year, I played defensive line. I was horrible. Then going into my second year, Coach Lovie Smith was like, hey, Kendrick, like, I think we're going to move you to offensive line. I'm like, man, I ain't trying to do that. Like, I called my high school coach. I'm about to transfer. Like, he tripping. And that was, like, one of the best things that ever happened to me. So shout out to Coach Smith for that, like, because I ended up getting drafted. But, yeah, I'm sorry. Where was we going with that? Yeah. So I moved positions, and I played 3 years and just really learning how to play football. And it was a great turning point in my life.
And when you became on the offensive side, is that when you won first team All Big Ten? Was that the year?
So my first year, I was like, figuring it out. Second year, I got a lot better. My third year, which was 2020, the COVID year, then I think I was unanimous All Big Ten.
And what did that feel like for you?
It's crazy. I was driving with my roommate. My roommate's from Alabama, but like I used to bring him home all the time to Peoria, and he'd be with my family. And I was like, remember I got tagged in a tweet by the Big Ten. I'm like, what is this? And then I was like, that's how I found out. I was like on I-74 driving, and I was like, dang, like we was turned. So it was just me and him in the car. It was lit. So I remember that. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, and so you played under Coach Lovie Smith, which is absolutely. That was such a big deal. Can you just talk about what did that leadership and that coaching style, like how did that really benefit you? I know that he was the one that suggested you go on the offensive side, but can you share a little bit about some of the lessons or the things that you learned under him that shaped you to who you are today?
I feel like so him coming from the NFL, he was an NFL coach for how many years? Coached the Bears, when he was in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Him having that NFL approach was like really good for some guys and really not good for others. But like for me, like that's where I wanted to be, and like he really taught us, like, you know, like I can't make y'all, you know what I'm saying, want to do the extra stuff, you know, and stuff like that. And he used to preach that to us, and like if you want to be a pro, be a pro, and like that's the style he approached us with, and that's not best for like 18-year-old kids all the time, you know. But I would say I definitely like bought into that, and you know, it paid off.
Yeah, and not to hone in too much about like the specifics of that, but he has like a pro style. Mm-hmm. And what do you think are some of the tangible things that he did that really kind of got you into that mindset of like, wait, I could actually be a pro?
What do you mean? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so he has this pro mindset of like, well, let me ask you, is he doing the pro mindset with the intention of helping you all matriculate to the pro styles, or because he was a pro coach, he just kind of treats you all like you all were in the NFL?
So I think it's a mixture of both. Like, I think that's just what he was used to, but at the same time, like, you're in college, like, you're a kid, but you really a grown man now. You like, you know what I mean? So he's kind of teaching us how to mature, and like, not everybody's gonna make it to the NFL. He knows that, you know, but he's really trying to teach us to mature as men, you know, and I think that was, you know, that's a valuable lesson for anybody, right? So
absolutely. And keep me honest, when did were you involved or affected by the NIL wave, or not as much?
I missed it by like 2 years.
Okay, because I was going to ask. I was like, yeah, because that's really pros. Like at this point, it's all pros.
Yeah, I'm hating. I'll be hating. I'd be hating. So.
I'm hating too, and I didn't even play college sports. But you said a little earlier that at the time you were just playing football to play football. The NFL wasn't really something you were so focused on. But can you think of a time where you really felt like I could actually do this for the rest of my, well, not for the rest of my life, but just for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, so like growing up playing sports, like I always like, you know, I wrestled baseball, basketball, and football all the way up until high school, and I stopped playing basketball. But I always knew like I'm gonna go to college and play sports, and like, you know, I'm gonna see what happens from there. Like when I was a kid, like, you know, I remember writing on my kindergarten thing like, oh, when I grow up I'm gonna be an NFL player, you know.
So
and
cute.
Like, but you know, like when I was older, I'm like, you know, let's just go to college first and like see how it goes. But I remember Coach Lovie Smith, when he sat me down and switched me from defensive line to offensive line, he's like, you know, I think you'll be a good defensive lineman. I think you can go to the NFL if you become an offensive lineman. But like 18-year-old me wasn't trying to hear that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, like over time I started kind of realizing like, dang, coach is right. Like I'm definitely have way more potential at this, and you know, it ended up working out.
And then I know that you have to declare for the draft. What was that moment where you realized, okay, I think I'm ready to take the next step? Because you redshirted the year, and then you decided to just go into the draft. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so I had one more year eligibility left, and Coach Smith had got fired. I was hearing things like, you know, like I could go second or third round in the draft, which is pretty high. And we had a new coach. So I was like, oh, do I come back to Illinois? Do I transfer to a bigger school? Or, you know, do I go to the draft? And I had just had my daughter, and I wasn't getting no NIL money. So that kind of weighed into my decision. And, like, I knew I was going to get drafted, like, at a decent spot, and ended up working out. So, yeah, I would say, though, like, when I remember, like, the moment I declared, I was like, am I making a mistake? I was like, damn, I'm tripping. Like, you know what I'm saying? But just having those, like, just second guessing yourself, you know, but it ended up working out. So
yeah, because once you declare, that's it, right?
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah. And then so it's really at that point, the control is in the hands of the NFL.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's so funny. You're like, my daughter, like, essentially, that was the reason why you declared. I'm like, dang, girls be running your decisions.
Yeah, moving my life each and every way, man.
That's crazy. No, not too much. Not too much.
That's funny.
But let's talk about, I think it's important just to talk about it chronologically so we can actually go into what it's like being in the NFL and identity and having a life outside of sports. But can you share what did the process look like from you declared to the draft? What goes on?
So I think I declared for the draft January, or maybe it was like late December, and I was in Dallas, Texas. Like I had a signed with an agent, and my agent shipped me off to go get ready for like, you got the combine training where you got to run the 40 and all that and stuff like that. So shipped me off a few days later. I got the training for that, and then you go through that whole process. It's like 3 months. You do the testing, and after that, like you just work out and stay in shape. But literally, there's like the chips gonna fall where they may at that point, and then it's really like out of your hands, So then you just stay in shape till about this time of the year. The draft comes, and then 2 weeks later, you're in your new city, trying to get acclimated. So,
Can you share the emotions of the draft day? Because I know that you were selected to the Pittsburgh Steelers. You were third round, 87th pick, correct? Can you just share what that day looked like for you?
Yeah, stressful day. Because like you have like, my agents kind of tell me like, yeah, you could go from, pick probably 55 to like 105 or something. So like that's a long time. That's like 4 hours of your night, and you just like don't know. It's just like is my phone gonna ring? You know what I mean? And it was stressful, but like when I got the call, like I was with my family and friends, and it was a great moment. So like I honestly blacked out. I don't remember. It's a video of me somewhere. I had like some fake Cartiers on. They was fake. Don't tell nobody. But I'm like, let's go. Like I'm cussing. I throw the glasses down and break them, but like everybody in my living room lit up. It was a good time. So.
What a once in a lifetime experience. Because I've heard a lot of draftees say like you're only going to get drafted once, and you really have to soak in that moment. And so the fact that you were with your family and friends, were you at like your childhood home? Like where were you?
I was at my brother's house in Peoria.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome. So I know you didn't like the food, but you go to Pittsburgh. And I think what's really cool is also that you started for the majority, if not all of your first year, right?
Like 15. I started the first 15 games. I didn't play the last 2.
Yeah.
I had like a calf injury, but.
So you go into your starting. Can you share, like, I know that you said at first I had some mixed emotions. I had some doubts getting in there, starting training camp, starting actually working out with the team and getting acclimated. Can you share what your feelings were like? How was that?
So backtrack a little bit. At University of Illinois, I played offensive guard. I played left guard. I got drafted to play center, which is the guy who hikes the ball to the quarterback. Obviously, you know that. Mm-hmm. But I hadn't really done much of that ever, so that was like really new to me. So like I'm already a rookie, which is a big jump, and then I'm learning a new position, which is another big jump. So like I had a lot on my plate, and it was tough, but I learned a lot that year. It was I wouldn't trade it for anything. So I'm sorry, did I even answer your question?
Well, I know.
Right?
I think that's really good because this is the second time that's happened to you.
Yeah.
Because you went from defense to offense, and then you went from guard to center. And I think that not everyone can do that because I think it's more also of a mindset shift and being able to adapt in real time. How are you able to pivot? Like once you found out, like, okay, this is what I'm being drafted for. How are you able to pivot?
I kind of like just decided like this is what I'm getting paid to do. They didn't ask me what I want to play. Like, this is what they said you're going to play, and that's my employer. So literally, you know what I mean? So they paying my bills. I'm going to learn how to play center, and that's what I did. So I just I try to, no looking back, just go all in, dive headfirst into it. So
I love that, no looking back. And can you speak to maybe who was crucial in helping you acclimate to that position, if that's safe to say?
Yeah, I think we had a veteran. His name's J.C. Hassenauer. Like my rookie year, he helped me out a ton. Like he was actually, they drafted me. I was a starter, and he was like, technically he was like second string behind me, but like super selfless dude. Honestly, was more qualified to be playing at the time. If you ask me, I think he should have been playing over me because he'd been playing center. He knows what he's doing. He's been in the NFL for a few years, but super like selfless dude. Just told me everything he knew, taught me everything. Like I can't thank him enough. I need to reach out to him, and like I don't think I've ever got a chance to really tell him that. So yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah, and I'll send you the clip to send to him.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think we underestimate how many people like pour into us and how they really shaped us and really help us in our walks and in our specific journeys. And so you're getting used to playing a new position. You're getting used to a new city. you're getting used to having a full-time job, because I know it's probably different than college. Yeah. Can you share a little bit about, because I know we've been talking a lot about adjusting to football, but how did you adjust to acclimating as an adult?
Yeah, so like, you know, when you move off to college, it's a little different. I was close to home, but like, you know, and I had my teammates. We all lived with each other. We lived in a big house. I don't know if you've ever been to 205 West John in Champaign.
I have. I did.
What a time.
The football house.
But like, I moved out to Pittsburgh, and you know, these all grown men. Like, you ain't living with your teammates when you in the NFL. Like, they got mortgages and families and wives. Like, I move out there, I'm by myself. So it was really like, I feel like that was like a big adjustment for me. Like, I was really by myself and like trying to just, you know, figure out how to be a man, you know what I mean? Like, on your own. So that, I think, was the biggest thing for me, like, off the field, like, social. Like, I was coming home every day by myself. I'm studying plays. I'm like, damn, like, I don't got nobody to talk to. So I sit on the phone with my friends all day, but, you know, or my family, but they got stuff to do too. You know, they can't talk all day. So it was kind of like, that was a rough adjustment for me.
And this was also when, because you said that you found out before you declared for the draft that you were having a daughter, and your daughter wasn't in Pittsburgh, right?
So yeah, my daughter was born before I declared for the draft.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
like a month before. But
Got it. Okay.
no, she was here in Chicago. So
yeah, so I could imagine that was also tough for you to navigate.
Yeah,
too.
that too. Like, I'm not really seeing my kid as much, you know, and that was right. She was a baby at the time, so yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, it was tough. And then how were you able to acclimate outside of the field?
I feel like, you know, the more you do something, the better you get at it. You know what I mean? More time on task. You just kind of learn how to, like, you just got to figure it out. You really, like, you know, like in the football world, they call it FITFO, figure it the fuck out. Yeah. So that's what, yeah. So you just, yeah.
Period. And then we're going to move on, but what did you learn? What would you say you learned the most out of your rookie year? Because you said you learned a lot. What did you learn the most?
I would say, yeah, never take those, like, even the highs and the lows, soak it all in, never take it for granted. Like, because you'll learn something from every moment, good or bad, you know, and especially in the good ones. So really, or especially the bad ones. So really soak in the bad ones and make sure you learn from it.
Yeah, we're going to jump forward a little bit because I know that in Pittsburgh, is it you also went back to guard from center to guard again? Yeah,
So the next year they ended up paying somebody in free agency, Mason Cole, who helped me out a ton as well. Shout out to Mason. And then I was kind of like the backup guard, like learn how to play both guard spots, and I didn't really play much that year. So yeah.
And then you got traded to the Texans, right?
Yeah, the following year I got traded to the Texans.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You're going to a new city, and I think what we just understand about sports is you kind of just got to go where you got to go, and you just have to pivot no matter what in real time where you least expect. So you go to the Texans. Can you share a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, so like backtracking a little bit, being in Pittsburgh, like, you know, I was struggling off the field. I was struggling on the field. Like, I wasn't playing my best, learning a new position and all that. Like, those 2 years there, like, I was in a rough spot, like, mentally. And I was like, remember telling my agent, like, man, I'm trying to get out of here. Like, you know what I mean? And eventually, like, it happened. I remember I was in Pittsburgh, and I'm driving my car. I'm like, I need to go get my brakes fixed. Like, the place was like 40 minutes away, though. I'm like 5 minutes away from the place, and the GM from the Steelers, Omar Khan, called me. He's like, hey, Kendrick, what are you doing? I'm like, and he's like, you buy the facility? I'm like, damn, they about to fucking fire me? Like, what? But then he's like, yeah, we just traded you to Houston. And I was like, he's like, so come by the facility, drop your stuff off. I turned to mute. I hung up. I was so happy. That was like one of the best days of my life.
Wow.
Really, like, because I was in Houston 4 hours later. That's something people don't talk about either. Like,
it's instant.
Yeah, I went home. I packed some bags, took it to the airport. Yeah, I had a flight in 4 hours. And then my next off day, I flew from Houston to Pittsburgh, packed my car up to get it shipped. Then I had to pay somebody to come pack my house up, and I sold my house in Pittsburgh. Yeah, it's a crazy transition.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the part of being an athlete that no one talks about is just how you kind of have to leave everything and figure it out from there. I do want to pause and go back. You said that it was rough for you mentally, and if you're open to share, can you talk about how you were able to stay afloat, because that is a lot that you have to weather, especially you were starting, then you said you weren't playing as good, you were switching positions. There's a lot to navigate, and I know that a lot of your mental health is associated to your sport. Right. So I'd love for you to share that.
Yeah, so like that's when I really learned, like, okay, I would say, like, first of all, during that time I had a great support. Like, I had older, like, veteran teammates in my position room, like James Daniels, like I said, Mason Cole, Chooks, Okorafor, great guys. Like, I kind of lean on them, ask them for advice, but like, there's literally like not much people can tell you when you're in that rut. You know what I mean? You just literally, I just put my head down. I kept working, but like, and eventually, like, when you're working so hard and you're not seeing results, you kind of like, damn, like, what am I, like, am I doing the wrong thing? You know, I'm asking God, like, what am I not doing? You know what I mean? And that's when you really, like, I really got closer with God that year, that second year too, when I wasn't playing as much. I was really, like, kind of not depressed, but I was, maybe, I don't know. Maybe I might have been depressed. Who knows? But it was like, you can't you can't make your sole identity, like, in being an athlete, because eventually it's going to end. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's something people don't talk about either. You know, like, you can't just, like, people see me all like, yeah, that's Kendrick, he plays football or whatever, but like, I'm so much more than I have I have a lot of other interests. I have a lot of other, like, hobbies that I like doing and stuff, like, that people wouldn't even know. Like, I be flying planes. Nobody know that. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm getting my pilot's license right now. But I think that's something that needs to be spoke about more. I'm kind of like, my brain's all over the place. I'm trying to, like, form sentences. I got so much I want to say.
Yeah, say it.
It's a lot of guys. I see it, like, now. I see, like, younger dudes come in the league, you know, and they get cut, and, you know, like, that's when real life hits. Like, dang, like, I've been a football player since I was 5 years old. I'm 22. Like, my whole life has been just dedicated. I put every ounce into this, like, every, like, you know, blood, sweat, tears, months and months and hours on end, right? And it's a lot in the professional sports world that's just, you can't control, you know? Like, you kind of got to have luck. And that's, like, you know, you got to work hard, but, like, you also got to get lucky. You know what I mean? And sometimes when guys aren't lucky, they're like, well, shit, now what do I do, you know? And that's when people start, like, I feel like that's when people really, like, they either have that coming to Jesus moment or they're going to hit rock bottom, you know? And I feel like that's just something, I'm trying to think of the perfect words to say. This is so, like, hard. I'm really bad at, like, speaking, by the way.
I can't tell. I can't tell. I think you're doing a great job.
It's like, that's something, like, so people who are watching this, I really want people to, like, if you're an athlete or you're aspiring, you have a lifelong dream and it just ends up not working out for you. Like, you got to be able to pivot, because there's so much more to life than, you know what I mean? Just, it's like, I kind of get emotional talking about it, because I really, like, I found out a lot about myself that year, and you'll find out a lot about yourself at the bottom, like, when you're at your low moments. And I don't know, that was a rough year for me, for sure. I'm scrambling so much. Oh my God.
No, I appreciate you. No, I appreciate you for sharing. And you talked about, like, that's when you were able to cling onto your faith, and something about that, because you kind of, that's what words in your mouth, but you leaned into someone who does know it all, because you don't.
Exactly.
And you also recognize that maybe your environment, or maybe the area that you were in, maybe was no longer suitable for you. The environment that you live in makes all the difference as well. I could also like, speak to that. Like, when I'm in a bad place, like, physically, it affects you as well. And so you mentioned that you went to Texas. But did anything else, could you see, like, did the environment kind of start shifting everything for you, or can you share?
Yeah, like, I remember I landed in Houston, and it was like, just like late August, it was like 96 degrees, but it was like a breath of fresh air. I was like, oh, like a new beginning, like, you know what I mean? And that was like that was like a great time in my life. Like, right from the time I got traded, and, like, being in Houston, that was like, I started loving football again. Like, I enjoyed my teammates in Pittsburgh too, but I enjoyed, like, coming to work every day, and, you know what I mean? It it really like lit a new fire under me for sure. And that was like, yeah.
Yeah. And can you speak to maybe one of your favorite parts about being in Houston?
So yeah, well, I got traded to Houston, and then 4 weeks later we played Pittsburgh, and I ended up getting hurt that day. But like up until then, we was whooping them, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like that was it was great. And I was on social media talking my shit afterwards and all that too. Like, but nah, yeah, I would say like, we like that year, the Texans hadn't been a relevant team, but that new year, we got new coach DeMeco Ryans. They drafted C.J. Stroud, and that's like we made the playoffs that year. And then they're still developing, and like they're still on the rise because of that to this day. And this 3 or 4 years later, and I think it was just fun to see like kind of starting something new. Not that I started something new, but to be a part of that.
Yeah, to be a part of a new environment, a new franchise, new organization,
and
new
like
teammates.
and new success.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned that the unpredictability of being in sports, and that includes, unfortunately, getting injured. Can you share a little bit about that moment you played against the team that you got traded from, and you got injured at the end of the game? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we were winning. I played the start of that game, played throughout the whole game. I think there was like 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left in the game. I think we're up by at least 2 scores. Like the game's pretty much over, And yeah, I just somebody rolled up on me, and had to get a meniscus surgery. I had to get a meniscus repair. So now that put me out for the season, which was horrible like in the moment, but like I remember thinking like because I remember I prayed like, man, I hope I get out of Pittsburgh. Like I want to go to somewhere else, get a new a breath of fresh air, and like that's what came with it. So I decided I gotta take it, and I took it on the chin, and tried to bounce back from it. So
yeah, and did you have? I know that when people have not career-ending injuries, but season-ending injuries, there's well of emotion. Some people are like, will I ever play again? Some people are like, well, I know I'll play again, but this is a lot. Or people are like, I need a break. What were your type of emotions that were flowing during your recovery process?
I just was like, man, like, because I was back playing again. I was starting. I was playing well. Like, that's the best I ever played in the NFL at the time. And I'm like, dang, like, why now? Like, that's how I was kind of thinking. But then, like you said, I kind of think, like, dang, like, am I going to be the same after this? Am I going to be able to move the same? Am I going to be as strong as I was? You know what I mean? Like, is it going to happen again? And I think that, but, like, it's just all, all things you got to roll with the punches, weather the storm with it, so.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing about, like, the waves of emotions, because I know that a part of the scary part about being an athlete is you just never know what's going to happen to your body. Mm-hmm. And when you were in the rehab process, can you just share a little bit about like what kept you in good spirits? How did you keep your mentality up like in a positive manner? Because I know that injuries or like hard rehab days can really make you like question some things.
So it was like during that time I was living in Houston, I had 2 good friends who like they were in Houston at the time, and they basically were like, we're living with me, because like one was coaching at the University of Houston, and then my boy Ike, actually, he has a clothing brand apparel. This is Vay Apparel.
Period.
It's huge. He was like down in Houston trying to like for months at a time, expanding his brand and stuff, and it's doing great. But they were like staying with me, and like during that time, like, guys being guys, we just talking shit all the time and just, listening to you. Like, it's just the fellowship, like, I think it definitely kept my spirits up and, like, kept me going, so.
Yeah. And then how long were you out?
So, okay, this is a loaded question, too. So, October 2023, I tore my meniscus, I had a meniscus repair. That's like a 6-month, like, injury type of thing, so the season would have been over by then. I think we were in early February. I'm about to be cleared. Like, I'm a month away from being cleared. I'm, like, lifting in the weight room, like, kind of like rehab type of thing. And I tore it again, and I was like, damn. You know what I mean? So that took another, like, 4 more months. Like, because then not to get medical and all that, but, like, they cut it out instead of repairing it that time. And I had to, like, kind of get used to not having a meniscus in my knee, and I still don't. But But like I saw all in all, damn, 10 months. Yeah, 10 months until I was clear to like play football again. Yeah.
Yeah, and do you feel like a difference in how maybe you train or how you play because of the injury?
No, I like today. I feel like I've never had an injury there because like I worked really hard at rehab. But like something I'm grateful for going through that process was I really learned how to like take care of my body and like what you eat matters. Because like if I ate something greasy and all that, my knee would just get super swollen and blown up. And like just staying on top of like my training, how to keeping my legs strong. You know what I mean? I kind of learned that because your knees is one part. But like, oh, I can probably really strengthen my shoulder, and that'll prevent me from getting injured. So stuff like that. Like, I learned a lot in that process. I'm definitely grateful for that.
Yeah. I hear a lot of athletes mention that even though in the moment it was really tough, they're grateful for their injury because there are big valuable lessons that you learn. You talked about taking care of your body. Was there anything else that you learned, maybe just how you navigate hard things or anything else that you feel like you learned from that area of your life?
Talking to like just my family, like my dad and my brother, like, you just got to keep putting one foot in front of the other and just, keep your head down and hopefully look up, you'll be at the end. Like, it's just like, some things, it's going to be hard, but you just got to do it. And like, you got your support system around you to help you get through it. So I'm grateful for that.
Absolutely. My grandma used to always say at the end of the day's going to end. I'm starting to preach.
Clock it. What they were like, clock it. Clock it. Thanks.
Screaming. Yeah. So we're almost at the tail end of just like going through your journey because I feel like there's so many lessons that you learn from season to season. After that, you went to the Bills, correct?
Yeah. So I did 2 years in Houston and I signed with the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. Can you talk about that process as well? I know that you were like on an inactive roster.
So I signed there in free agency. And I ended up getting cut at the end of the training camp, and then they kind of had me up and down, like active, inactive. Because, NFL is a business, and like there's a lot of politics involved, which is what it is. But I would say, like, out of all my low moments, like not being always on the active roster, I don't even know if you asked me this, but that year, like last year, 2025 season, that's the biggest jump on the field I've ever made in my life. I had a great coach. Great culture in Buffalo, great like teammates in my O-line room, arguably like the best player in the NFL plays there, Josh Allen, and like my game just jumped to another level. So I learned so much more like about just football in general there, and I'm super grateful for my time there. So
see, isn't that interesting? Where people think that maybe like a circumstance that maybe isn't as like what you would expect or want ends up doing the most for you. Yeah. So can you recall, is there anyone that really like helped you or took you under their wing to really help you jump in your position?
Well, I think so. That's the best. Like my offensive line coach, Aaron Cromer, he just retired too, actually. He's going to his retirement party in Florida in 2 months. But anyways, he just sees like the way he taught us the game and like just, it's like, not to get into like how to play offensive line and stuff, but it was just like, he just really opened, like it turned over like my perspective on like how to see the game of football, and I'm a much better player now than I was a year ago before I got to Buffalo. Like I wouldn't trade that for anything. It was a great time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
I learned so much.
Yeah. And then that season, well, do you have a favorite memory? I know that you talked about the coach, but do you have a favorite memory just being with the team? Or, I mean, you mentioned Josh Allen.
Yeah. So I don't know if you've ever been to Buffalo, but it ain't
none there.
Ain't much out there.
None there.
You know what I'm saying? Toronto's like 2 hours away. Niagara Falls is right there, but you can only look at a waterfall so many times. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why like the culture in Buffalo was so good, like because like what we gonna do? Like we can't go to the club, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I guess we just all finna go over to so-and-so house and play cards. Like, you know what I mean? It's like that camaraderie and the fellowship. It was great there. And I think, like, just moments like those with my guys, it was a good time.
Mm-hmm. And then the off season, then you were signed with the Cleveland Browns. Yeah. Can you share about, like, what does this season mean so much to you? Or what does the season mean for you?
Year 6, like, going to a a team that I like to say is on the rise. I think we're going to be, on the rise this year. We've got a lot of good pieces, a lot of good talent. Just looking like I come in and compete and, try and win a job and, kind of get my career going the way I feel like where I deserve to be. So,
yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for you, and I can't wait to clock in and lock in on the Cleveland Browns. So we haven't talked too much about this, but you have a daughter. Mm-hmm. Can you share what it's like to be an athlete and then also be a parent?
Yeah, so my little girl, she's 5, Hazel Jo Green. It's my baby. But she really not the way I look, cause I had her when I was 21 and I'm 27 now. Damn. Ugh.
You getting up there.
I'm old. But I would say like she just really navigating being a dad. I've learned she's taught me so much about myself and just how to be patient, and like I said, I was raised in a house with all boys, so I'm super I'm a pretty masculine guy. I feel like I'm but mm-hmm. She a girl, I can't be like that, you know what I mean? And so she definitely has softened me up a little bit. So yeah, that's my baby.
And what does she say? How does she describe your job? She knows you're a football player, but how mm-hmm. does she like the life of being in the football world? So
she kind of just within the last year or two, she was like, Dad, where do you work at? I play football, baby. No, but where do you work at? I'm like, I play football. So wait, you play football for work? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, what? She still don't understand. You know what I mean? All in all, but she's when she was a baby, she's been in a few of my games. She's been in quite a few of my games actually, but. She every time she goes, she loves it. So mm-hmm. yeah. You
mentioned that fatherhood has taught you a lot about yourself. What is something that maybe you didn't have prior to fatherhood that you're really proud of?
Not to say that I'm proud of, it's just really it's really, how do I say it? It's a real not epiphany moment, but it's wow, it's a real realization, dang, you holding your kid, and you don't have kids, but you were really damn, I'll do anything, you know what I mean, to make sure she cool. And that's really so really putting somebody before you fully, it's a real humbling experience. And I'll do anything for that girl. So yeah.
And it's a selflessness that is substantially enhanced once you become mm-hmm. a parent. Yeah, that's amazing.
I would say, and it's I don't know, man. It's something I remember when she was born, I'm in the room and they hold her up and I'm I just break down crying. You know what I'm saying? I'm I'm crying. They're like, sir, you need to sit down. You about to pass out. They trying to help me out. I'm just, I'm and it's a indescribable feeling for sure.
And do you feel like just being a father has even affected the way you play the game or how you approach the game?
I would say I've always been a pretty motivated and disciplined dude, but that just adds a whole I got somebody I got to do it for now. That's it's how I attack my training, how I attack my studying, how I attack taking care of my body. It just ain't about me no more. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about this a little bit, but what is something that you're looking forward to for year 6 and also just your journey as a father as well?
I really want to I just want to continue my career because my daughter getting older now. She's gonna be 6 this year, and I want her to remember mm-hmm. at least she'll have some type of memory oh yeah, I remember going to NFL games because my dad played. I think that's something cool to be able to say. So.
Yeah. So we're almost at the tail end of this conversation, but I have a few more reflective questions. You mentioned earlier that a lot of people, when they look at you, they just see maybe the letter on your jersey or you being a football player, mm-hmm. but there's more to you. So who is Kendrick outside of the football field?
What's the meme? The dude's I'm just a chill guy. But no, really, I'm really laid back dude. 95% of the time, I'm sitting in my crib, just blasting music, listening to music all day, and I love my homies. Always on the FaceTime talking to my friends, and Just a real chill, laid back dude. So I feel like that's the best way to explain it.
Yeah. You are really chill. Like ever since I met you, you've been such a chill guy.
Yeah. I'm glad you say that. That reaffirms.
That's how I see you. That's how I see you. Yeah. And you mentioned, like, I think one of the biggest pieces of this conversation has just been your emphasis on mental health and making sure that people coming up, whether they're entering the league, they're going to enter the league, or people currently in the league, really want to prioritize their mental and physical health. Is there anything that you feel like you wish you would have known prior to entering the league that you know now that you would want to emphasize when it comes to mental health?
Not that I wish I would have knew, but like I really learned that lesson. Like, you know, you can't just lose yourself you can't lose your identity in what you do. You know what I mean? Because my brain's scrambling again. Here we go. Same topic. But yeah, you can't lose your identity in what you do because, like, A, one day is going to end. Two, like, you can't control every aspect of that. So why would you want to hand your identity over to something that you can't control? I think that's, like, the biggest takeaway I would say from it.
That's a really good way to put it.
That was a gem.
That was a gem. Clock. You're eating.
I'm dead.
My final question for you is we end each of our episodes. It's called What I Wish I Would Have Known. So I kind of asked you this a little bit before, but you could take it any way you'd like. Knowing what you know now, what is something maybe that you would have known just about playing sports in general or being in professional sports that you know that you wish you would have known?
I was just talking about this with my homies. Like the other day, I was driving by. There was I was in Ohio. I think it was like some spring football practice. I'm like, damn, it's probably a kid out there who's just like me. Like, is really talented. Is probably gonna work super hard, and like, just think like, oh, I'm gonna go to the NFL and my life's gonna be great. But like, you gotta be prepared for that roller coaster of life, like, you know, and be prepared for them lows just the same way you want to be prepared for the highs. I would think like the emotions in my life are just regarding to like what I do for work are just so volatile, you know, and got to be ready to ride the wave.
Ride the wave.
Yeah.
The highs are highs, the lows are lows, but they're both worth it.
You got to take it all.
You got to take them all. They're all worth it. Kendrick, thank you so much for being on.
This was great. I love this.
I love this too.
Yeah.
This was great. And I appreciate you for being so transparent. I think a lot of people are going to be blessed by this. And it was fun to kiki with you.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been a minute
for sure.
And if I'm ever in Cleveland during the season, or
pull up, man.
Yeah,
pull
or
up.
When you're in Chicago for the game, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, pull up, man.
You're
always welcome. Always welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. And as always, we're uncovering who we are one step at a time, and we're unfolding at our own pace, and we're exactly where we need to be. Take care, everyone.